Wow, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I will say that it's truly an honor and a privilege to be here and to be recognized as one of the recipients of the Bill Grace Leadership Legacy Award. I'll be truthful, as I expect you'd want an ethical leader to be. I was kind of taken back by the nomination because in a world of critics, I am by far the biggest critic of myself. So upon the news of the nomination, I went through a series of questions and checklists to decide if I could truly accept this honor. One of the first series in this question was, well, what is ethical leadership? By definition, it's leading and knowing by doing what is right. Doing what's right, what you believe in, even if it's unpopular. Then the term ethics derives from the Greek word ethos, meaning customs, conduct, or character. Is concerned with the kinds of values and morals an individual or society ascribe as desirable or appropriate, focusing on virtues of individuals and their motives. When I reflect a little bit on my teenage years, I'd say I acted from a place of not knowing any better. I grew up in a single-parent home and at a very young age got involved with drugs and alcohol. And my life was, surrounded by conflict and chaos and just pure survival. I turned that around and got clean and sober at the age of 16. But I was still operating from those viewpoints of the world. At 17, I was introduced to the Lummi Cedar Project. And as mentioned, it's a Native nonprofit organization focusing on youth leadership and development for young people 14 to 25 years of age. Through the Cedar Project, I learned about conflict resolution techniques, youth leadership and facilitation, and peacemaking. It was a real turning point in my life. And, I took these skills with me and put them into practice and went on with my life. I have two children, a 14-year-old girl and 9-year-old son. And from Lummi High School, I went to Northwest Indian College and transferred to Western Washington University and received my bachelor's and got my master's of education at Western Washington University. So after more than 10 years of not being involved with the Lummi Cedar Project, I returned in 2008 as the program manager. And this was my first real interaction with the Center for Ethical Leadership. Prior to getting involved with the center, I had been really involved with my community. It was through the center that more of my world started opening up. The Center for Ethical Leadership's philosophy is about community and youth engagement. It's more about an invitation for cooperation. In my community work, then and very much now, I get very passionate about my work. And then and very much now, wanted things to go my way. Through the center, through the Kellogg Leadership for Community Change, and through peacemaking circles, is taught to be open to everyone's perspective and needs. And I'm glad Saron Fong is here, leader, keeper of peacemaking circles, because he talks about a principle about there's more than one way to get to California. So this is the idea that some people may be more comfortable flying, driving, boating, canoeing, but as long as we reach the destination, there's more than one way. So through Through telling stories through circles and gracious space workshops, I was taught, and I think it's in one of the books that the center has, is to go towards the roar. For those of you who haven't heard this analogy about going towards the roar, to prepare for a hunt, lions send their eldest and weakest members away from the hunting pack, settling in nearby where the strong and younger lions wait and watch. As the herds approach, the old lions let out a loud roar. And at the sound, blinded by fear, the herds turn and run from what they believe is the source of danger. As they run frantically in the opposite direction, they run into the real danger where the stronger lions wait, ready for the kill. When fear sets in, we run for the hills. And what I, learned through circles and through gracious space is being able to tell our story, and even though you might be a little scared or fearful. And it goes back to my earlier point of my questioning of, am I adequate? Am I worthy of recognition? And kind of going on to my checklist. And this goes back to a fear of not being accepted or connected. And there's this online article that I saw. It says, fear is more about unknown and how we want to make certain the uncertain. And fear will keep you from connection. And vulnerability is the way to connection and wholeheartedness. So what I learned through circles and through the work of the center was to really be able to be in my own power and tell my own story and not be so afraid of it, and through that find connection with others. So, through my mentors, and I learned through circles that no one ever asked me to be perfect, that I am human, that I am doing the best that I can. And in our Lummi language, there's a phrase, it's Klamichasen, it's Astitimsen, and that means I am doing the best that I can. And I think Astitimsen is the definition of ethical leadership. I can't do that without help and inspiration of others, which is what I feel the center has provided me, and through my mentors and friends who remind me to have courage and to support one another, mentors, friends, people who sit in circle. Through my family, my husband, so I'm very grateful, is here tonight, who tells me not to be so hard on myself, who sees me agonizing over what seems trivial details. He, along with my mom and my children, love and support me unconditionally. The center has created spaces and opportunities for inspiration and support. And to know that in leadership, you are not alone. Sometimes it takes a story or inquiry from others to set yourself on a path, to have honest conversations, no matter how difficult. No one is asking for perfection as long as you are doing the best that you can. So, Esti Timson and Haishka, thank you for this honor.